Welcome, boils and ghouls, to the Cryptique Podcast. My name's Kenny.
And my name's Godden.
And together, we're here to watch and review every horrific, often hilarious episode of the legendary HBO anthology series, Tales from the Crypt. And here we are. Godden, this is our very first episode that we've ever recorded in the same actual physical place.
Exciting.
It's exciting.
It's so exciting.
I'm excited. Well, Godden's here in studio. He's here at the Cryptique headquarters.
Headquarters.
Can we call this
the
Cryptique
headquarters? Yeah, it is. It would be the headquarters.
Yeah. So I'm from California, and Godden is from. Can we say where you're from? Are you okay with
relocated. Yeah, that's fine though. I don't want to say I'm from there.
Okay. Yeah. Well, you're living there now.
I live there now.
In Utah. So we're not neighbors. So we do this whole Cryptique thing usually over Discord, record it. But today, Godden's paying us a visit. Godden's here in town, so I'm excited to have Godden over. We're excited to do an actual episode together, so this is going to be pretty exciting. Today, we are doing Season 2, Episode 18. This is the final episode. The final episode of Season 2, The Secret. It aired July 31st, 1990, and it comes from The Haunt of Fear. So here we go, you guys. Here we go. Before we get into this episode, I got to make sure that I give out the disclaimer. Okay, we are not professionals. We're just a couple of hobbyists. This is just something fun that we get together and we watch one of our favorite shows and we come on here to just express our opinions about it. If you agree with us, let us know. If you don't like what we have to say, let us know. We also want to build a community, and you are welcome to join in that community. Come aboard. Also, spoiler warning, we're going to go into great detail on this episode, so make sure you watch it first before you come on here to hear us go on about it.
Hear us blabber about it.
Yeah. So before we get into it, now, Godden, set the stage for us. What was going on in the world at the time this episode aired?
Well, when I looked at it briefly, mainly songs. Motley Crue released their single "Same Old Situation" from their album Dr. Feelgood, and then Mariah Carey topped the boards of the Billboard Hot 100 chart for a while with "Visions of Love." Not sure how that song, but Mariah Carey, as always.
I don't know why I always thought Mariah Carey was like a late 90s, early 2000s thing.
90s.
Late 90s, though.
Maybe she popped off that.
I don't know. I don't listen to enough Mariah Carey.
Yeah, and then I guess if you're a baseball fan, Nolan Ryan. He earned his 300th career baseball victory.
I've heard of him.
Yeah.
I've heard of Nolan Ryan.
So those are the biggest things. Other than that, no new movie releases. The same thing as the last episode. I don't want to keep adding on like Total Recall. Ghost.
Right. It's the same. That was just the new stuff that happened last week or this week before this episode. We would have had on it's the same old situation, right? We would have been listening to that, right? I'd have been like, turn that down. Shh. Tales from the Crypt is on.
We're getting our tails on.
All right. So let me start off by reading to you the ancient text, inked in human blood, bound in human flesh. Description on the back of the DVD box set, which I left downstairs.
I know.
Usually I watch all the episodes right up here in the headquarters.
The studio.
The studio. But since Godden's here, we took it downstairs to watch it downstairs. So I'll be right back, everybody. Through the magic of editing, I'll be right back immediately. All right, now to hear from the ancient scrolls. What is this episode called? Here, no, it's there, the last one.
The last one in the back, yeah.
Okay. They let him into their home, not their hearts. An orphan is adopted by rich parents who hide a darks.
A little better.
That's not bad. It's pretty good. Because it leaves a lot for mystery, doesn't it?
Yeah.
You don't know what's going on. So, well, let's see here. We wrote a little something up. Two of us earlier. Young orphan Theodore is adopted by the Colberts, a wealthy couple who spoil Theodore with all the toys he can play with, all the sweet treats he can eat. Are they the perfect parents? Or do they have a sinister secret? Little do they know, Theodore also has a secret.
2.
All right. Well, the goods. There's a lot of goods about this episode. Oh, first of all, well, okay, so general thoughts. Overall, without giving too much away, what do you think about this episode?
I'd enjoyed it. But I know you enjoy it way more than I did. We both have the same hate for something in this episode.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not a bad episode. I'd watch it again. I think I'd stop there. I'm gonna watch it a third time. It's simple.
Yeah, I did. I liked it a lot. I did. I thought the chemistry between the main character, young boy, and the butler were so good. I loved every scene with those two together. They had great chemistry together. I really felt the genuine connection between both of them, like a real genuine friendship. The story I thought was interesting. I thought it was a good story. Thought it had enough mystery going on. I liked the whole angle of you don't quite know what these parents are up to, but then there's the twist at the end is like a double twist because the parents were hiding something, but then the boy has a secret.
The secrets come out.
Right. Everybody has a secret.
Everyone has a secret, yeah.
Right.
Even the butler had a secret.
Even the butler had a secret we learned by the end, right. So I like the characters, I like this, I like the twists, I liked a lot of it. There's one issue about this episode that drives me crazy, and every time we get to it, it pulls me out of the episode, and it's just awful. It has, I'm just gonna go out and say it has to do with the nighttime. The nighttime scenes are some of the worst scenes in this episode. If you're watching us talk about the episode before you went and watched it, then you have no idea what we're doing, and you shouldn't be here. Go away, watch the episode, and come back. Okay, there, I said it. So the episode opens with the Crypt Keeper reading Oliver Twist. And
like
he's
this.
Right, he's like right up in his face, and he says, what? So where's the twist? And I like that because Tales from the Crypt are known for having twists.
Right.
So if you pick up something called Oliver Twist, you would
expect a twist.
You would think there'd be a twist.
He took it too literally. Yeah, I love that.
But he has a lot of good puns here. He has a lot of good puns in this opening. He says, what? So where's the twist? And I had such great expectations, which of course is another Charles Dickens book. Then he says, now here's a story you can sink your teeth into. A toothsome tale of Tommy rot, guaranteed to scare the dickens out of you. Lean in, Fright fans. I'm going to let you in on the secret.
I like the intro. The intro was so fun.
It was good. I like that he's reading the book Oliver Twist, because Oliver Twist, of course, is an orphan.
It's an orphan, yeah.
Yeah, and this story is about an orphan, so there's that connection. And then the fact that there's a twist in there as well. I thought it was a really good spin on both of those. That was good. That was a good one. Okay, that brings us to the opening panel. Now, the opening panel is the orphan boy wearing one of those, is that like a raccoon hat?
I hate that hat so much. Yeah, I think it is like those hunting caps. Like it's like, honorary, I killed this animal, I'm going to make a hat of it. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I definitely think of hunting.
Yeah, it's like a foxtail or a raccoon tail hat.
Tail,
one of those, like one of those types of hats. But the young boy, he's holding hands of a man and a woman, and he's looking up longingly at what his parents, right? And then behind him, you see that there's the orphanage. And by the way, the orphanage it's Gaines' orphanage, right? Gaines being one of the main writers or the creators of Tales from the Crypt comic. And then even behind that still, you see there's a full moon in the back. All of that comes into play, right? Interesting that you can't see anything about the parents other than their hands holding the boy. So yeah, there's something hidden about the parents that we don't know. And then also behind that, there's the moon, which has to do with what the boy's hiding. I like the way that all comes together.
But I do like contrasted blue and brightened colors as well.
So scene one is the Gaines orphanage. So we were introduced to like just the building as a whole. It's at nighttime. And on the inside, we see a young boy who turns out to be our main character, but a young boy is like sneaking downstairs. While he's sneaking downstairs, he hears a couple of adults arguing in the next room. He sneaks past them and he opens up the fridge and he sneaks like a piece of chicken. And this is how you can tell he's really hungry, by the way. He also sneaks the apple. And I don't know many kids who eat apples.
Well, I think it's just whatever was in the fridge.
Right.
But the one that bothers me is he puts the drumstick back, the bone, just back in the fridge after he eats the chicken. And it just, I don't know why. It's still, like, why? Like, what's the point of it? Just throw it in the trash. You know? Like, there's no point of putting it back there. Like, no, someone's going to know someone ate it. Just get rid of the evidence.
Right. In a kid's mind, if he threw the whole thing away, they'd be like, where's my chicken? But in a kid's mind, of course, if he just puts the bone back, they'll be like, oh, here's my chicken, but
who ate
hey,
it?
What happened? They'd be so confused.
I don't know. It just bothered me a little bit.
But when he also took the apple, that to me said, oh, this kid's clearly hungry. He's even stealing, fruits. He didn't steal the bag of chips. He actually took the apple. So after he sneaks the food, he starts to go back to his room, but then those adults who were arguing earlier come into the main dining room. So he hides under the table, and while he's there, he overhears these people. It turns out to be the director and I think the assistant.
Yeah, or trying to be the next director.
Right, of the orphanage, kind of arguing back and forth. And they're setting the stage. They're basically saying, you can't tell him who his parents are. Whatever you do, never tell him who his parents are. So that's setting up like, oh, that's the secret. Right?
Yeah.
Whoever this kid's parents are, that's what's going on here. And of course, the boy drops his apple and it gets their attention. So they realize that he's sneaking around. So the main director, Miss Hagstead, is kind of like, she's like the mean one of the bunch. And he basically scolds him, tells him you shouldn't be here. Now go to bed. And he gives her assistant, Miss Heather, a key and says, basically lock him inside, lock him in. Miss Heather takes him up, locks him in the room because she has to, and it's the rules, but she still gives him the apple. Lost. So Miss Heather is definitely, she's one of the adults. She kind of has to be part of, the discipline and the locking him up in the room part, but at least she has enough heart to say, I'm just doing my job, but here you can have the apple.
Why let kids starve at an orphanage? Then you can't get rid of them. If I remember correctly, that's when Hagstead was like, how come you aren't eating food? And he's like, oh, it was like something along the lines of him being bigger than the other children.
Oh, that's
so
right.
He has to eat more.
I do remember that. He says, you got fed like everybody else or something like that. And he says, I'm bigger than everybody else. And there's a funny scene later, too, where you see all the kids.
He's the biggest one.
And he's huge. This kid's gargantuan compared to the rest of the little boys.
He's like 10 years old and they're all like 6.
He's like almost a teenager and they're all like 6 and 7.
Yeah. It's very funny.
Oh, and when he's on his way up to the room, you see that it's a full moon outside.
Yeah.
So that definitely, I was like, oh, I kind of see what's going on here. You kind of, right, with the zoom in on the full moon, you get the werewolf vibe. So right away, I'm kind of like, all right, I see where this is going. The next morning, it turns out that Theodore got out and he knocks on the front door and he arrives back home at the orphanage and he's all dirty. His hair's all messed up. His clothes are all ripped up. He's all muddy. He was out and about doing something. So right away, I'm like, I got it. Okay, the kid's a werewolf. Right? That's the secret,
yeah.
Right. That's kind of where I was going with that. So the next scene is, we've got a couple of kids. It's Theodore and one of his, I guess, orphan brothers.
Housemates?
Yeah, housemates, I guess. And they're doing the dishes together, and the kid, this kid has a doozy. You want to say the joke?
Yeah. Kenny, what's the difference between boogers and broccoli?
I don't know. What?
Well, kids don't eat broccoli. That was really cute.
That was a very cute moment. Very cute moment. A lot of the kids in this, they did kids right in this episode. The kids and Theodore especially were really done well. So Miss Heather comes in and basically takes Theodore away and says, we have a potential family here who wants to adopt. So be on your best behavior. I think Miss Heather is really rooting to get a real home and family for Theodore. I think she realizes that he's much older than the rest of the kids. He's far less likely to be adopted. So when she sees this opportunity for him, I think she really is happy for him. Really wants him to be on his best behavior so he can get adopted.
Why would, if they're older, why would it be less likely? Wouldn't they be more mature, less stuff broken around the house when you want to adopt the older kids usually?
I guess so, but I think when they're younger,
Cuter?
they're cuter and they kind of
I guess, sure.
you have more opportunity to train them. And
Okay. Yeah. I suppose.
So this couple who arrived to adopt, this is the very wealthy couple. And this is the scene where all the kids are lined up and Theodore's in the front and he's just huge.
She's massive, yeah.
Compared to the rest of the kids. And this rich couple is basically swooning at Theodore. Like, ooh, yes, we want this boy. This is the boy we want. But Theodore is not happy about that. He doesn't want to go with the family. So he leaves, or no, he's taken away by
Miss Hagstead.
Miss Hagstead. Miss Hagstead says basically, oh, won't you come with me? And I forget what she asked him to do, like go clean the dishes or something.
I think coming to the kitchen to clean something up for a moment, yeah.
But when she has him alone, she grabs him and she starts shaking him.
And it's us who's not shaking.
It's a first-person view, and you just see the camera shaking.
She's really aggressive.
That was a really funny moment. Visually funny moment.
Visually, yeah. It was a good gag, yeah.
It was a good gag. It wasn't, don't grab your kids and shake them, people. Wait a minute. If you have to listen to people from the Critique podcast tell you to not grab a kid and shake them, okay? Don't listen to us and our parenting advice, okay? It was a funny moment in the show where she grabbed the kid and she shook him.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm just going to leave it at that. Okay? So she says to him, now listen to me, you pesky little Sputnik. And basically, she's imploring him to mind his P's and Q's and go with this family. I think Miss Hagstead wants to get rid of Theodore because he's kind of a troublesome kid, as opposed to Miss Heather, who genuinely wants a nice home. So at this point, Theodore asks her about his real parents. And that's where Miss Hagstead basically says, they died. And she doesn't really give any specifics. At that point, Miss Hagstead convinces Theodore to go with this wealthy couple. And so everybody, except for Theodore, gets what they want, right? Mm-hmm. Miss Hagstead gets rid of Theodore. Miss Heather is able to see Theodore go with a family, and it just so happens to be it's not really with a family that Theodore wants. Oh, and by the way, while all this is happening, behind the rich family, there's the butler.
Yes.
The butler's there.
The butler.
And this is played by Larry Drake, the character, who I know most from Dr. Giggles, who I keep telling you about. You have no idea who this is. We got to watch this movie at some point.
We will. I'm excited.
So, Larry Drake was also the Santa
from All Through the House.
That's right. Yeah,
he was the mental patient.
I would have never known that if you didn't tell me, because he has all that makeup and the fake bandage. Beard on. Yeah. You can't tell, but yeah, it's interesting that he plays one of the first episodes in the first season, one of the last episodes in the second season.
Oh, second
season. That's interesting. Yeah. Anyway, so this Larry Drake character, he plays the butler, and he's standing in the back. And I love this character, by the way. I'm going to say it right up front. This is the MVP of the episode for me. I love this butler character. But when he's sitting in the back or standing in the back, he's just watching. But he's doing so in a way where it's kind of on the fence. You're thinking to yourself, is he being ominous? Is he like a mysterious character who's kind of in on the whole secret that's going on? Or is he more sympathetic, kind of looking longingly at this young boy before he gets himself what he gets himself into? So right away, I'm intrigued by this butler character. So I'd like the setup of him right away in this moment.
The wife looks like Cruella DeVille. I really like that, how have that very kind of corrupt morally figure already, just by the way she acts and the way she talks, and then the father, which is
very reserved.
Yeah, he didn't have a lot of lines, but when he spoke, it was just kind of off the cuff and kind of funny. Yeah,
I wonder how much of the woman was inspired by Cruella DeVille, because she's very flamboyant, and very, very rich and snooty with long jackets and coats. I wonder how much of her persona was bottle after Cruella. That is interesting. Yeah, that's a good connection. This next scene, we're introduced to our first night scene.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so they all load up into the car and they drive off to their new mansion, or Theodore's new mansion, and it's all done at night. It's filmed at night, Godden.
It's filmed at night.
They went outside at nighttime and they filmed the entire scene at night.
It was not filmed that night, Kenny.
No, it wasn't. It was not filmed at night. It was filmed in broad daylight with that stupid blue filter over the camera.
Yeah.
And it's everything about these shots. And there's so many shots in this episode. They drive me crazy. And I was like, why can't they go out at night and film the scene? And you brought up a good point. I think this might be correct, actually.
Yeah, because in the previous episodes, all the night scenes were done at night. But for this one, maybe because we have a child main character, it has something to do with maybe child laws or maybe something with school or anything like that. Or they can't afford to shoot at night because, they're dealing with a child actor. So maybe they just had to cut corners in this way. And, well, I hate this corner. I'm not a fan. But if there's a legal issue, we have to support it.
Yeah.
Because, yeah.
Yeah, and that makes the most sense to me.
Yeah.
So I don't like it either, but if that's the way it has to fit, then I guess I'm okay with it. But yeah, it must have been maybe they had like a 3 or 4 hour window per day of filming, and they had to do these scenes at the daytime, and they put the blue filter on. Maybe they could have picked a more shaded area. I don't know.
They could have.
It looked terrible. It looked awful. But
it was pretty annoying. Yeah.
So they drive off at night.
And you can see it's in the morning or, daytime because the shadows, it's very prominent.
Yeah, the shadows are so bright and vivid as the sunlight shines through the trees. It's not moonlight.
It's not moonlight.
There's no diffusion of the light whatsoever. It's completely middle of the day daylight.
Yeah.
I don't know how else to say it. When they finally arrive at Theodore's new house, this rich couple's house, he walks in. There's a giant entrance hall, and he basically says out loud exactly what we're thinking, which is, wow, it's like a museum. And he goes up to touch a vase, and at that moment, like a dog, a Rottweiler, barks at him, kind of scares him away. And the woman basically says, "You must never touch anything. Some things here are very old." And when she says very old, she actually reaches over and grabs her husband's hand. Us. We're very old. A little bit more foreshadowing going on there. So at that moment, they bring Theodore up to his room, and his room is just completely, it's a kid's dream. It's filled with toys.
Yeah.
There's a train station going around on the floor. There's just toys hanging everywhere. There's a giant bed to hang out on. It looks like a very fun room. Mm-hmm. He goes in there. He starts playing with the train set. He pushes a little button.
Yeah.
They shut the door and lock it.
Yeah.
So he's locked inside the room. And this scene got me. I really felt this scene. So they shut the door. They lock it. He runs to the door like, what's going on? And remember, when he was in the orphanage, to punish him, Miss Hagstead locked him in the room, and he did not like being locked in the room. He had already said he doesn't like it. So he's being locked in a room again. He doesn't know who these people are. He's looking through the keyhole. He can see them talking, and he says, Mrs. What's her name? Mrs.
Hagstead.
No, not her. Not the. What's the
Heather?
woman's name? No, the woman's name.
The rich couple?
Parents, yeah.
The Colberts.
No, he says.
I'm reading it a first name.
Mrs. Colberg. Why did you lock the door? He says, "Why did you lock me in here?" He genuinely is scared and doesn't know what's going on. He wants to know, and the parents, without even acknowledging him, just turn and walk away, and that made my heart sink. Like, this poor kid doesn't know where he is. He's being locked in a room again. He doesn't like it, and he's pleading for help from his parents, and they're just walking away. So I really felt that scene. That was a really sad moment I felt.
He's fine. He's an orphan. No, just thinking about that now, it reminds me of when I recently adopted my puppy because it was from a humane society. They're always locked in there. When we come home, we have him in a kennel. So locked in the cage. Don't like it. So that's the only thing I can kind of like.
Yeah. But even in that situation, you're treating your animal like an animal.
Yeah, but they're treating him
like
an animal.
They're treating the boy like an animal. Yeah, it's very sad to me. It was him asking. It was him calling out for help,
Yeah.
and then them just walking away from him. That's what made it sad for me. So that scene ends with a jump scare because he's looking through the people, and at that moment, that's when the dog jumps back up and starts barking at him, and then he falls back, and then that's kind of the end of that moment.
Mm-hmm.
So this next scene, I think it's the next morning, and it's the butler bringing Theodore breakfast in bed. And he puts a platter in front of him, and it's just filled with pastries, pies, there's syrup. It's just a bounty, especially for a young boy. And especially for a young boy who the day before was just, sneaking around for a piece of chicken and an apple. So
he got an upgrade.
Right, he definitely got it. He got an upgrade. So Tobias, Tobias is the name of the butler, by the way. So Tobias basically says, my name's Tobias, and I'm going to be bringing you your food every day. And as Theodore starts eating, he says, may I have a glass of milk? Tobias says, how about a milkshake? So already, Tobias, I'm liking this guy.
Mm-hmm. Doing his job.
He's doing his job, and he's doing it well. Although the fact that he the fact that he upgraded his milk to a milkshake does clue you in that maybe he's in on it. But, he's in on it, but only to a certain degree.
Right.
This Tobias guy. He's still the MVP to me. So Tobias leaves to get the milkshake, but you hear when the door shuts, you do hear it lock.
Mm-hmm.
So he's still locking him in that room. But we get a little montage here, and it's basically just Theodore having a great time playing and then eating. And then he's playing and then he's eating. And then so it's just a montage of him playing a bunch, eating a bunch of sweets, and he has like all kinds of different outfits on, and he's having all kinds of fun. The montage ends with him actually, he takes a lid off and you see all this, wonderful bounty of food. And then he puts the lid back on slowly and turns and faces the door. So you see that he's starting to turn his back on all the novelties of living in this room. He's really starting to long for outside the room. So even though he's happy in that moment, there's still so much more that he wants.
Not fulfilled.
He's not fulfilled yet. Right. So the next scene is the family taking a walk. We've got Theodore with his parents up front walking the dog, and then in a few steps behind them is Tobias, the butler, and they're all walking outside at night, Godden. They're walking around at nighttime.
Yeah.
This is nighttime.
Blue filter. Yeah.
They're walking around in blue filter light time. And just in case you didn't know it was nighttime, who was it? Was it the mother who said, I just love these nights like this, or something like that?
Yeah. And then I think the father says, and we have to work early in the morning. So yeah. They're saying it's nighttime still.
It's definitely nighttime, right? It's nighttime, folks. It's nighttime. So during this walk, at this point, Theodore questions why that door is always locked. The mother character says basically, you're our most precious possession. We don't want to lose you to the wolves. Foreshadowing, we'll learn later. Theodore starts to ask, can we go out to the movies, or can we go out and do something? And the parents are quick to just say, nope, we have to go to work. But we're planning a secret. So here comes another secret. Wasn't it your idea to count all the times he said secret in this episode?
I would like to, yeah.
Yeah, I wonder how many times.
You do like a post edit and just like a number. But I want to say, it's in the teens at least.
Teens?
Yeah, I don't think it's like that crazy, but they mentioned it a couple times.
Yeah, there's quite a bit of secrets going on. Where's the twist?
When does the twist happen?
Yeah. So as they're walking at nighttime, right, they eventually walk past the camera, and the camera kind of stays back, and it lingers on Tobias, and he remains in the back. And again, this is a point where, it's kind of ominous. Is he planning something? Is he up to something? Or is he being sympathetic to this young boy? He kind of has that look where he's really doing a good job at kind of presenting it being both ways.
Just hard to read.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. And so the next scene is Theodore's in his room. Tobias is there kind of cleaning things up and getting things situated. And as Tobias is starting to leave, Theodore basically invites Tobias back to play in his room. And so later on, Tobias comes back and they actually, they play a card game together. They're eating candy together and they're kind of having a good time and enjoying each other's company. And the way Theodore invited Tobias, I got the sense that Tobias has never really been invited to much. He says, can you come back and play a game or come back and do something with it? And Tobias kind of thought carefully about it and says, suppose I could. So they're playing cards together. I don't know what card game they're playing, but one of the cards that Theodore is holding, they're probably playing Old Maid. Is that a game? Is that a card game?
I don't know.
Okay. Well, I think it's a card game. Look it up, people. Tell us in the comments. I think Old Maid is a game, and he's holding the card that's Old Maid, and that causes Theodore to have a memory of him back at the orphanage with that old maid, Miss Hagstad. But very quickly, that memory kind of transitions to him having a good time with Miss Heather and playing in that soapy water with the other orphan kids. So he definitely, even though Miss Hagstad is there, who makes his life miserable in the orphanage, he has a lot of fond memories about being in the orphanage. And I love this moment in the episode because it sets up the stakes in this expensive, rich manner that he's living in, right? Even though he's being given everything he quote unquote wants, what he really wants is to be loved and appreciated like he was back at the orphanage. It also helps when the episode comes full circle by the end.
Let's
not get too ahead of ourselves, but I just want to put it out there that I really like this moment when he has that memory of back at the orphanage. So after this memory, by the way, Tobias is kind of standing behind Theodore and basically asks if everything's okay. And Theodore says, I don't want to play anymore. I'm done. So Tobias, they both have a T name. It's kind of throwing me off. But Tobias at this point is starting to, really show his colors and show his concerns for Tobias, or for Theodore, which I thought was nice. And at this moment, the parents barge into the room with a giant birthday cake. And they're singing this ridiculous birthday song. A birthday party for you, or however it went. I don't know.
I've never heard it before, yeah. It was just their own jingle.
It was just their own. But I think Happy Birthday to You is a copywritten song. I don't think you can just sing that willy-nilly like.
Why not?
It's copywritten. I don't think you can. I don't think legally an HBO show can have that song.
Weird.
Isn't that weird? It could have just been.
It was a fun way of doing it, yeah.
But they bring in the birthday cake and they cut him a giant slice of cake. And Theodore says, but it's not my birthday. And the mother, with the most condescending tone, is like, of course it isn't. Then it wouldn't be a surprise now, would it? Yeah. So Theodore says, I'm not hungry. And she says, well, save it for later then. We've got to go. You and your father are going to paint the town red. Which, again, can be more foreshadowing for what's going on here.
Got him another big slice. They really are trying to plump him with all this sugary sweet.
Yeah.
Honestly, it's just that's all he gets to eat.
It's a very Hansel and Gretel theme.
Yes.
Right? Because they're clearly completely gorging him. Right? They're just constantly feeding him with all kinds of. Yeah, they're keeping him entertained with the toys and fed with all those sweet treats. So definitely getting some Hansel and Gretel vibes here. Yeah, this next scene. This is where Tobias is tucking in Theodore, and this is one of the more heartwarming scenes. Mm-hmm. So basically, Tobias is sitting on the edge of the bed, kind of, getting Theodore all settled in, and this is where Theodore. Did Theodore ask him flat out if he was an orphan, or Theodore asked him about his parents.
Yeah,
and he says, "I never knew my parents." And he goes, "Oh, you're an orphan too." So they learn that, or he learns that Tobias was also an orphan, and Theodore says, "Oh, we had a Tobias. We called him Toby. Is it okay if I call you Toby?" And Tobias responds, "If you insist." So it's a very sweet relationship. I really think that Tobias, at this point, Toby, he's like conflicted. Like he's supposed to be the butler. He's supposed to be indifferent to this kid and just only serve to basically fatten him up, right? But he just can't help but have affection for this young boy. And really, I think he sees him almost as like either himself, he sees himself in him as a young orphan, or he sees himself as a father to him. Not quite sure how it would go. Maybe it's both. But I'm getting that sense from.
Definitely cares.
Yeah.
In one way or another. He cares.
Yeah. And even before he leaves, he says, "Good night, my boy."
Very sweetly.
Yeah,
too.
very sweetly. Very, very sweet kid. So later on that night, Theodore is in bed and he hears the Colberts outside his room talking. And the woman says, "I'll decide when our little orphan delicacy is ready. I can hear his little heart beating." Very, very haunting. And even the way that this scene is shot at the doorway, because they had opened the door to kind of peek in on him, and the whole camera is really tilted in this really, really aggressive Dutch angle up at the doorway. And it just created this really like ethereal, haunting, off-balance shot of just these completely demented parents clearly up to something. They clearly have a secret. Would you say?
They were definitely sinister in that last shot because at this point I still didn't know. But yeah, before we get to the finale, I was like, pretty sinister moment with the angle and everything. Because like, yeah, what are they playing? I assume they're gonna kill him. That's my first like, yeah, they're gonna kill him. But I should have known with the Hansel and Gretel vibes that maybe they're gonna kill him in a different way.
Yeah, they're up to something. They're definitely up. That basically brings us to the finale, right? Later on that night.
Night.
It is, right? No, night. Right? Later on that nighttime, Toby basically runs into his room frantically, wakes him up, and he says, "We've got to go. We've got to go. We got to be quick. We may already be too late," right? So something's going on. So Theodore and Toby are running out, and they're trying to escape. They get to the stairs, and that's where they run into the parents. And that's where it's revealed the parents are actually, are you sitting down for this?
Yes.
The parents are actually vampires. And they had just returned from, quote, painting the town red. Okay. And their goal basically was to feed this kid a bunch of sugary sweets to sweeten up his blood so they can have a nice dessert of this boy, right? That's kind of the plan. But coupled with this plan, this is how Toby was integrated into this plan. Do you want to say how Toby was integrated into the plan?
Yeah, so at the moment when they were caught, it is, shown to us that Toby actually made a deal with them to try and granted immortality. And he had a change of heart. He was MVP.
Yeah.
And, that was his spirit.
Yeah. So remember in My Brother's Keeper, how the woman was hired to try to seduce the other guy, to sign that paper.
Right.
But then she ended up falling in love with him anyway.
Oh, I see.
This is kind of like that, right? So Toby was, quote unquote, hired to look after this boy and feed him and basically ripen him up for dessert. Then he had a change of heart, and he ended up, I don't want to say falling in love, but definitely growing attached.
Compassion.
And having compassion for this young boy, yeah. Unfortunately, that's going to cost Toby his life.
It is, but before it does cost him life, he did one little thing that really gave us hope. That's one of our favorite moments.
Oh my gosh, I had to watch this scene a couple of times. As the vampires are coming at Toby, he raises his two pointer fingers to create a little cross to scare away the vampires. It didn't work.
He died.
It didn't work.
Because the dad comes from behind.
I think it's because the dad came from behind.
Yeah.
No.
I think it would have worked.
I think it would have worked had he pointed the finger cross behind him. Maybe it would have worked. But this was absolutely the dumbest moment in the episode. I don't know. At least that was funny.
Reactive.
Right. At least that was funny. So I guess I kind of liked it. It would have been funnier if the boy did it. Theodore did
both.
it.
Yeah.
That would have been cute. And it would have actually worked.
That's a twist.
I think I think if Theodore had done it, because he is a child, right? That would have made sense to him. But to see Toby do it was a little bit ridiculous. So unfortunately, Toby is killed, sacrificing himself for the boy. The boy leaps over the banister of the steps, runs outside into, get this, Godden, the nighttime.
The nighttime.
So he's running out into the blue filtered nighttime, running away from the vampires who are chasing after him. When he's finally exhausted and falls. Oh, by the way, while he's running away, it's revealed this isn't just any night. This isn't just any blue filtered night, Godden. This is a full moon blue filtered night.
It's a blue filtered full moon.
Or is it? I wonder if it's just a blue filtered full sun.
A blue.
A blue moon. That's right. It's a blue moon. So when the vampires catch up to him, this is where it's revealed. The second secret, which is the boy, basically reveals, I have my own secret. I'm a werewolf, and I have an appetite for vampires. This was where less dialogue would have made much more of a difference. So, right. I got he was a vampire when I saw the full moon when he was going to his room in the very first scene of the episode. I got it.
Or if he just said, like, this is for Toby, or just something
right.
like that.
Yeah, he could have said something like that. This is for Toby. But to spell it out like that much was a bit much. But he is a little boy, right? He's a little boy. Maybe he wanted to ham it up for him.
I mean, he didn't write the script. Duffy.
Yeah. So, of course, at that point, Toby chases after them. Not Toby. Theodore chases after them and takes them out. And the final scene is back at the orphanage. They get a knock at the door, and it's Theodore, dressed up in some fine clothes, with a very well-behaved dog beside him, basically saying, I'm back, I'm home, and now I know my secret. Some things are going to change around. He's gonna encourage Miss Hagstad to mind her P's and Q's. And in that moment, we get a superimposed image of a wolf over the boy's face. It looked awful. They could have left that out.
Yeah, they didn't need that.
Or have maybe his eyes turn red or something like that.
Something.
They didn't need that whole thing over. That looked stupid.
So he's a werewolf.
Just in case you didn't know.
Just in case
and they probably could have added a line where he says, I'm a werewolf. I wonder if that would have been helpful. I wonder if that would have helped us understand what was going on.
Maybe.
So that brings us back to the Crypt Keeper, who's, at this point, he's sitting near a statue. I don't know what of.
It's like a thinking man, but he's like this. But I don't know. Yeah, I'm not sure if it's a
I was thinking Buddha.
Statue.
Was it Buddha?
No. Because then your lobes would have been fat.
I don't know who it was, who the statue was.
Just a random statue.
I guess so. But he basically says, finally, the kid gets the upper hand. Or should I say, the upper paw. Just when Mom and Pop were about to satisfy their sweet tooth, Theodore decides to wolf down something besides sweets. Well, that's all for now, kiddies. As one cow said to the other as they headed off to slaughter. Till next we meet. He could have did better than that.
Yeah, but
his puns in the beginning of the episode were on point. His puns at the end of the episode were...
They used all of it.
They used it all.
They used all of
it.
Yeah.
He should have said something about the finger cross.
Something.
That's my streak of the week, by the way. The finger cross. Absolutely ridiculous. Overall, what'd you think?
I mean, talking about it now, I think other than the blue filter, the only thing that bothered me was how Hagstad was when bringing up Theodore's parents. How was that just a red herring? Like, it's just something for us to like try and understand if there's a twist with the parents, because it's like, oh, we don't talk about that. We don't talk about that. Oh, they're dead. But it's like it was kind of unanswered, unless they were just werewolves.
I like the episode a lot. There were a few things that were kind of weird to me. I did not like that. It was weird to me because when he was going upstairs in the very beginning of the episode, you see the full moon, he leaves. And he comes back, his clothes are all ripped up, he's all muddy. Clearly he went out and werewolfed around, right? But then at the end, he discovers that he's a werewolf. That was weird to me. That was weird to me. They could have left that part out. Or maybe he has maybe they could have had it where he has nightmares during the full moon or something like that. Maybe they could have been more subtle with it rather than having him just actually leave and go out and pillage around town. That kind of bothered me. The blue filter bothered me. I didn't like the blue filter at all. If it really was the fact that it's because it was a child actor, that makes me a little more accepting of it. But even still, I really wish they would have maybe kept those shots, I don't know, somewhere more shady, or minimize those outdoor shots, or maybe just had maybe just kept it all indoors. They could have been more creative with how they did. I did not like how they did the blue filter. But then again, watching it back in 1990 on that crappy TV that we all had back then, would you really have been able to tell? I don't know.
I'm gonna say maybe, honestly.
Okay. Altogether, I did like it. So, as far as things that this is similar to, I'm thinking there's obviously a bunch of orphan stories like Annie and Oliver Twist, even Matilda. Right? But to be more specific, vampires and werewolves, of course, Twilight nowadays. You're thinking Twilight. Underworld. When did Underworld come out? Was that early 2000s?
Early 2000s, and that was my Twilight. I loved Underworld. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So there's the Underworld. Are there any others where they pit vampires and werewolves up against each other?
If there is, it's not on my radar.
Okay. There's the whole theme of evil parents or evil adults out to get kids, like Hansel and Gretel. There's that Tales from the Dark Side movie where the boy telling all the stories is basically kept in a jail cell and is getting ready to be cooked by a witch.
Oh.
So there's that. That made me think of that. Then there's the whole spin on children being the ones who have the supernatural powers,
right,
or who are the ones possessed, quote unquote, maybe Children of the Corn, right? Maybe. All those kids had those weird satanic ritual things going on. A lot of Stephen King stuff.
Yeah.
The Institute is one of his more recent stuff. Good book, by the way. There's the Firestarter, stuff like that. Stranger Things, even, right? Kids kind of being involved with the supernatural kind of stuff like that. Although it's not. As Interview with a Vampire, because a kid in that is actually a vampire.
Right.
Are there any children werewolves? How young are the kids becoming werewolves in Twilight? Those high school kids?
Yeah, no, they're high school, college, pretty. I don't know Twilight lore realistically, but I'm gonna assume maybe it's a puberty, access those powers as you go through that transfer.
Oh, what about? Have you seen that Let the Right One In?
No, but that does look interesting.
Yeah, that they did. There's two versions of that. I don't know which one I watched. I think I watched them both actually, because they're called different. Let Me In, I think, is the American version. I think I did watch them both, but it's about the young boy or the young girl is a vampire, and there's that whole thing going on. So yeah, there are some other stuff out there with kids having the supernatural powers. Oh, there's a book. The Girl with All the Gifts. The little girl is a zombie.
Oh,
yeah. So she's a zombie, but she has she still has her frontal reasoning part of her brain.
The frontal reasoning part.
Yeah, right. But the moment she smells flesh, she turns into a zombie. She becomes a zombie.
I see.
So as long as you're all covered up and she can't smell you, then you can just have a conversation with her normal.
Oh.
But the moment you have a rip in your suit, or you start bleeding or something like that, or she smells you in some way, then she becomes this ravenous zombie. So that was kind of an interesting spin. But there's very, very, very dark fairy tale theming in this, kind of similar to Oh gosh, what is that? The Pan's Labyrinth with
One of my favorites.
Guillermo del Toro.
Mm-hmm.
Did you watch his Pinocchio?
Not yet.
That's the best Pinocchio.
Really?
He made the best Pinocchio. It's
Dark
so
fantasy?
good. It's very dark. It's so good.
Okay.
It's so good. It's so good.
I like Guillermo.
Have you seen Running Scared?
No. When you put that, I was like, I have no clue that.
So Running Scared is a modern day movie, but it's done. They hit all the different Grimm fairy tales.
Oh.
So it's a realistic movie with realistic human characters, but each one of them have a certain trait from the villains of the Grimm fairy tales. Very, very. It's good. It's a good one. Yeah. I think it came out in the early 2000s also. If you can think of anything else that you think is similar to this, include it in the comments below. Yeah, we're always interested to see try to spider web these episodes out into some other things that might be interesting. So yeah, go ahead and leave those in the comments below. So as for ratings, Godden, you hit the nail on the head. I do like this a lot more than you
do. Yeah.
This is a good episode to me. I really like it. I wonder if it has to do with just a lot of it does have to do with the relationship between those two orphans, Toby and Theodore. I thought their chemistry was fantastic. I really bought into them having a very deep, profound relationship. So I like that part about it too. I also like the whole evil parents up to something, right?
Right.
So that I did like that as well. So I liked it. The blue filter drove me crazy. It really did. It really pulled me out. Even if it's true about the whole working as a kid and they really had their hands tied and there's nothing else they could do, even still, then just don't do it. Find something else to do.
Pick a different script.
And write it somewhere else. You're writing the damn story, for crying out loud. Put it anywhere you want. So, or have them outside, but maybe wearing an umbrella. Maybe they can be outside. They just can't have direct sunlight.
Oh,
something, right? Something.
Yeah.
Or maybe they're out and they're all dressed, I don't know. They could have done it so many other ways. It's just that blue filter was just a glaring annoyance throughout this episode. It happened so many times.
Yeah, they could have just left it for the last scene.
Right, the last scene.
That would have been okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'm going to give this a 4.9.
4.9.
It's close to a perfect episode for me. There's just a few flaws with it, but I really like it. The genuine performances really pulled on some of my heartstrings. I like this episode. I really felt for Theodore. I thought he was a great character. Tobias is the MVP. Finger crossed for Tobias. 4.9 finger crosses for Tobias.
4.9 finger crosses. I see. Yeah, I mean, I did enjoy the episode. It's a very simple episode. I'm going to give it a little lower of a score. I'll give it 4.3 filters. Because that really annoyed me. It's just the blue filter and the fact that his parents were kind of like a red herring in a way. Kind of bothered me, but then that was a simple tale.
Hey, it may not be your favorite, but at a 4.5 even still, it's not your worst.
Yeah, it's
not the worst. Let's move into correspondence, everybody. Splinter 47, we see you out there. Splinter 47 comes to us with a comment from the episode Mute Witness to Murder, who basically says the episode was a dud. I love that comment. Yeah, we did not like that episode. Either did Splinter. That's good to know. But he also went on to tell us, Splinter says, that Total Recall is my favorite Arnold Schwarzenegger movie. Because that week you had told us that Total Recall had come out in theaters.
Yes.
So
part of the list.
Splinter, that's a good choice for a Schwarzenegger flick. I love that movie. The original is so good. The remake, but that first one.
Yeah, there was a remake.
Oh man, it was bad. But that first one was so good. I love Schwarzenegger in that movie. Is it my favorite Schwarzenegger movie though? It's up there. I'm gonna say it's up there. T2 is a great movie. T2 is a great movie, but I don't consider that a Schwarzenegger movie.
Why not?
Because it's got James Cameron all over it.
What about Predator?
Predator, I think, is a Schwarzenegger flick. Now, I would say I like Total Recall. I like Predator. I like Kindergarten Cop.
That's my favorite Schwarzenegger. Yeah, that's my favorite one.
Yeah. Total Recall is definitely up there. I might be with you, Godden, and say Kindergarten Cop. I think
it's kind of a classic.
It's so good. I like them.
It's kind of overcasted by like T2 and stuff like that, but it's there. It exists. It's a really good one.
T2 is one of my favorite movies ever.
Yeah.
But I still don't think it's a Schwarzenegger movie though. Even though Schwarzenegger's in it and he's the star, I just don't consider it like the typical Schwarzenegger flick.
Because he doesn't talk a lot.
He doesn't talk a lot.
Yeah.
He doesn't have. There's not a lot of him in the movie, and by him I mean like his personality.
Yeah.
Because I mean James Cameron is probably one of the only directors who can really tackle a personality like Schwarzenegger and be like, no. You're just going to do what I say. Okay? We're not going to have your lines in it. Okay. So, you know what? Maybe True Lies, actually.
Oh, I still haven't seen that.
I think, so James Cameron also directed True Lies, but that one, a lot more of Schwarzenegger comes out in that. So maybe James Cameron made that movie almost as a way to say, like, okay, look, you can have your moments in this movie over here, but not in Terminator.
Yeah, not Terminator. That's my baby.
So I think True Lies is up there too. I like that one as well. So anyway, lots of Schwarzenegger movies out there to choose from. Let us know in the comments below what your favorite Schwarzenegger movie is. Splinter 47 is Total Recall. I'm split. I'm gonna say either.
You're so split.
This is hard for me. Kindergarten Cop is up there. Okay.
Yeah.
True Lies is up there, and maybe Predator, but also maybe Total Recall. I don't know. I got a lot. I'm a big fan.
Yeah, no, I still think Kindergarten Cop for me.
Okay, yeah. No, that's an excellent choice.
Yeah,
that's definitely, if not number one, it's in my top three. It would be tough. Okay. All right. Thank you for the correspondence. Keep them coming. I promise it makes my day when you send us comments. Okay. It means so much to me to know that what we're saying here is actually being heard by people out there, and you guys are enjoying what we're putting out there. So again, this is just a hobby of ours. We're not making any money off this. If you are a fan of Tales from the Crypt, there are other avenues that you can go about to meet your needs. Creeps of the Crypt is brought to you by Ghost Crusaders on YouTube. Check them out. They also do much what we do here, which is just talk about Tales from the Crypt. The Crypt Keepers podcast is another podcast that talks about Tales from the Crypt, and they also talk about the comics Tales from the Crypt. So they compare the episode to the comics. They do a great job. Haddonfield Radio. They do watch-alongs with some of the best horror movie franchises. Return, Revenge, Resurrection is another podcast that I'm listening to. There's us. There's the Critique podcast.
Truly.
Absolutely. Yeah. And if you want more of us, you can find more of us. My name's Kenny. You can find more of me at Too Bad About Kenny on YouTube and on Twitch, both at TOO Bad About Kenny, as well as the number 2 Bad About Kenny. Godden, what about you?
They can find me at UAPP06, Twitch, streaming Silent Hill F.
All right, everybody. With that said, next week, we'll be here to talk about, not season 3.
Not yet.
We're not ready for season 3 yet.
Not yet.
We are going to have a ranking video. So catch us next week. We're going to rank some of these episodes from this glorious adventure we've been having on season 2. So if you're following along with us, go back and watch some of your favorite episodes from season 2 and see if those make the cut for our final countdown.
Yeah. Exciting.
Thanks for tuning in, everybody. We'll see you right here, same place, same time next week. Bye, everybody.
Well, how was that for a scream?